Live. Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. We're good to go. Okay, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us again for our conversations series that we've had going for a little bit of time now here on the BPW Moncton page. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Devison. I am the first vice president of BPW Greater Moncton, and I've been having conversations with a variety of people, and especially ladies in the community, to kind of hear their stories and find out some information and hopefully add some value to everything that you guys have on the go. So today I'm very excited because Darlene Smith is joining me this evening, and we're going to chit chat a little bit about a few different things. But before we get into it, I am going to give you a little bit of background information, a little bio about our good friend Darlene. So, international award-winning speaker Darlene Smith. Darlene inspires others to achieve more success and happiness by sharing her experiences and energizing her audiences with a natural and upbeat enthusiasm. Her high energy, fun, and humorous personality create an entertaining atmosphere with a powerful message at every conference or event she has the opportunity to speak at. Darlene always makes a point in having her words resonate with her audiences, making participants feel as though she's speaking directly to them. With a firsthand understanding of where they are and where they want to be, Darlene has developed a unique and interesting way to deliver important mindset and motivational concepts that have and continue to move her audiences to a high level of engagement. Darlene has used her expertise as a speaker and trainer to go from flipping houses to flipping and working on people's mindset. She believes that everything starts and ends with your mindset. Her background includes 15 years in senior retail management and her entrepreneurship passion, which includes opening 3 special care facilities. Darlene finds giving back to her community very rewarding and volunteers with many organizations. Her favorite quote is, "What you focus on expands." Darlene loves to teach and the value of setting up systems that are cost efficient, productive, and smart. So please join me in welcoming Darlene Smith.
Wow. I was like, I want to meet her after all that.
You're like, who's this lady?
Who's this lady?
I need to tune in. So thank you for joining me, Darlene. Darlene and I have known each other for a couple of years now because Darlene is a BPW Greater Moncton member, and I've seen her at a lot of our events in person and now virtually. And she always does have amazing energy, brings a smile to your face, and selfie queen. So if you see her around, she may require you to get a photo with her. I don't know how it's going to work on this. It's very meta. Inception, maybe. I don't know.
It's not working at all. I'm so out of practice.
But I wanted to bring Darlene in because you started a Sharing is Caring video series when kind of the whole world exploded back in March. And so I wanted to just, have you share about that. So if you want to give us a little bit of background of what is Sharing is Caring, where did it come from? What was its original purpose, and kind of where is it today?
Well, thank you, Amanda, and thank you for allowing me to have a conversation. The last time someone actually interviewed me was like 2016. I'm like, this is different for me because I'm used to be on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, yeah, March 13th, Friday the 13th, it's in my brain, and everything kind of got shut down. And locally, one of the great leaders in our community, Dan Martell, he kind of stepped up and he had some people on a call and saying, okay, we're shut down for a couple of weeks, and what can we do? Influencers, leaders, we need to give back to the community. And so I was on that call, and I'm thinking, all right, what can I do? And I'm thinking, what are my talents? What are people going to need during this time? And I thought, well, what better way than everybody's going to be stressed, and we just need to have some more smiles. Personally, my motto, it's very simple in that if I can put an extra smile on somebody's face, then I've created my mission. And I'm kind of known, and I got thinking about this, and I'll tell you how it's kind of changed, but it was like no agenda. I kind of just go and do, and never really had an agenda. And someone was like, why do you do that? I was like, well, that's not what the purpose. So I thought, what better way to give some people some smiles, some laughs, and entertain? Those are obviously some of my strengths. And so that's where sharing is caring. I actually had it on my website, but then it was like, okay, this just makes sense. So I actually did the first one on March 17th, which of course is Green Day, right?
Mhm.
And St. Patrick's Day. And I remember back, and when I used to travel a lot at an event in St. Patrick's Day, I was dressed up. And so we were actually at a boot camp, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's St. Patrick's Day. We're supposed to do this." And people were like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So that's where the first one came. So I thought, okay, it's COVID-19. I can do this. I can do 19 days straight entertaining people with a video. So that's where it originated. And then it's kind of like, well, what do I talk about? So someone commented on the first one, well, I can't wait to see how she's dressed the next day. I'm like, oh, well, that was not my intention. It actually grew by the audience. And I'm like, well, obviously they're expecting something different. So then it was like, okay, I need to put the creativity to really together and come up with some new ideas. So then it was like, because they're obviously expecting something different. So the
Mhm.
first 19 were very strategically done in that different outfits relating to topics that people could relate to, that going through the first 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And it was kind of like, okay, so we'll get them a few laughs and everything like that. And I remember doing the budget one. That was fun. And the round tuits in the garage with the garbage bag on, and just all different, what's in the news. And I was like, it really challenged me for creativity. So it was like
Mhm.
every day, the idea was different outfit, different props, different backgrounds.
Okay.
So, and remember, we got to do this in the four walls of
Yep.
in your house, right? So, I have literally used throughout the process. I've used every room. I think I've missed a few walls. So, of course, if any of you don't know, I have a small Mickey Mouse collection,
Mhm. Very
right?
teeny.
Very
Like the
teeny
tiniest one ever.
ever. And it's a Mickey glass. I'm sorry. And I got to thinking, you know what? Well, this is a way to maybe not show off, but just to demonstrate some of my Mickey items. So they began to be props. And I thought, isn't this kind of cool to be able to go in today? What am I talking about? Baseball. All right, let's go into the Mickey room and let's find a Mickey item that's relating to baseball. Let's find some items that cook. So it was like, okay, this is pretty fun. So then in the first 19, it was like, okay, so now what do I do? Well, then I kept
Because you mean
going.
COVID wasn't over? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was like COVID's 19 videos, 19 days, and this is simple. And that's it. I don't have to do anything
And
else.
everybody's back to normal, and then it'll be a fun thing you did.
Right, right. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, this is video number 26 out of 19. I'm like, this does not make sense. So people began to continue to watch. You know, the whole purpose, put an extra smile. The whole purpose, entertaining at times, which it certainly has been. You know what? Maybe it's just a plain laugh. Um, there's some topics just to remind you of something. Maybe you could actually learn some facts. Some of them I had to do some research to find out myself. Some of the things that maybe, you know what, I never really thought of about it that way. And so now it has turned into 137 videos. So I had to stop doing them every day because,
Yeah.
folks, I'm like, you're just going to be so sick and tired of me. Over those 137 videos, it has been over 30,000 views.
Wow.
That just blows me away. That's over probably close to 9-10 hours just of a recording. Now here's the key. These are one take videos. So
Mhm.
there's no editing. There's no, if you screw up, Darlene, it's there for everybody to see. And so it became a real challenge into doing that whole thing. Now, get some great comments out there. Some people, hey, you're just entertaining. It's great for a laugh. It's just making those changes. And that's really. And so then it was like, and I was going through and looking at them and I thought, well, what were some of those key ones? And I was kind of taking topics, everyday topics that, people were thinking about during the virus, just in general. What is life? We're going to a roller coaster. Here's the interesting one is that, I'd ask people, hey, give me some topic ideas. And people are like, nah, we don't know. I don't, I don't know why, but for some reason, the craziness just comes into my head. I like, boom, get a topic, write it down. And somebody challenged me and they said, Darlene, do you ever have a bad day? And I thought, well, yeah, well, we just don't see that. You should do a video about that. And I said, okay, I will. That was probably the most challenging because it was not the crazy energetic side. It was probably actually me as the person side, not the performer. And so far, that is the one video that has the most views, which I never even dreamed. Now, sometimes what happens is I think this is a great topic and it's going to be a hit. And I'm like, no. And then other things I'm like, why are you guys not watching?
Yeah.
And you don't.
And other stuff you think is going to be boring and everybody's right there watching.
Yeah. So I haven't quite figured out that whole rhythm as to what it is. So I just put it out there. And I went through in the most popular ones was, of course, St. Patrick's, which was the first one.
Right.
Pay it forward. Right. We were talking about giving. That was, these are all over 500 views. This is a crazy one. Dad's gift ideas. There was a lot of crazy one for Father's Day, right?
Yeah.
Bad day. True friends. That was an interesting one.
Oh.
Because I'm the opposite of you, Amanda. I'm kind of like an extrovert. And man, this has been a roller coaster. This has been challenging because you can't see people in person.
Yes.
I was happy for the election because you actually got to be out with people.
You get to go stand in line and vote.
You can stand and vote. You can help in the campaign. You wear your mask. You stay 6 feet. But it's like you are different people. I know you all people, but so it's really cool on to that one. So that's been interesting as to the top 5, and then some of the other cool ones with some great views. Mindset was always a positive one. Round to it, virus habits, right? Because with this virus,
okay. Yep. People have new habits. Yep.
People having new habits, new thank yous, right? Folks, don't forget to say thank you. The simple things back in life. One day I was like, I can't focus. My mind's just everywhere. So we talked about we talked about that. Me and Mickey, my friends, we talked about that. And then
the internet.
And the internet, right? And it's just me and a camera. And
so do you do them live or do you film them and post them?
No, I did a couple live, but I film them and post them. The most exciting live one, before I had to go quickly before I got kicked out. I actually went into a grocery store because there were a lot of people that had been a month before people were not even in a grocery store.
Right.
Because they couldn't go out shopping. So I actually went into a grocery store in my city and I had to hustle around before people were like, what is she doing? So I actually did that one live.
That one was live?
That one was live. There is a difference between, I guess the live and the takes. And sometimes it just, without trying to keep it on at the same time, sometimes you're not always to do it. So that's why thinking to not do them all live, even though live is better, right?
No, I was just curious because at the end of the day, even if it's not live, like you said, it's one take and you're not editing. So it's like you were live anyway. You're putting your thoughts out there and then posting it. So it's the same.
It is the same thing. And that's where the concept has been. All right. So now it's Tuesdays, and Tuesdays is kind of, I call it the serious topics, right? We're talking about that. Thursdays, kind of mixtures. And now I call them the fun Fridays, where who knows what we'll be talking about.
Just whatever popped into your head.
Whatever popped into my head, people just love the barbecue one out there as well. It's those are some of the fun ones.
When you started the original 19, you kind of sit down and think of your 19 topics, or did you have a couple and it kind of just grew from there? Or like, what was or was it completely spontaneous? Like, what was kind of the framework
that's good. At first it was spontaneous. The costumes came from a comment after the first video. So
Right.
that,
Yes. Yeah.
right. So we got into that. So I kind of thought of a couple things and I just kind of jotted down some notes, came in, and then it was like, oh my goodness. And then I was like, I need another topic. And some days I would wake up in the morning and I don't have a topic and something would just pop in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I don't know where they come from, but they do. So there wasn't a whole lot of planning in the beginning where it was no agenda, Darlene. It was just, hey, just put yourself out there, just continue to, produce some kind of content that's going to make people laugh. So then as we began to go along and kind of got the system even to sharing is caring, the title is always in caps, kind of got, I'm a business person too, so I like systems. So now it's down to a system. Some of them, I did a couple in advance, sometimes just depending on where the time frame is happening as well. Most of them are only done the day or two before.
Right.
Now I kind of plan out a little more topics where it's serious, fun, what can things come up with. So I've also done, now I found that to try to keep them around 4 minutes.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you too. Like, did you have a set time frame, or is it just kind of through trial and error you found that 4 minutes is kind of the sweet spot?
4 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. In the beginning, a couple minutes, not a couple that went up past 5, and I was like, okay, I think that's too long. People's attention span. What's happening is there's so much negativity out there. And, I just wanted to give some positive, because with this roller coaster, it starts in with the mindset.
Right.
And I did a test. I did one with bad words. That was the title.
Oh, okay.
And I did one with good words. And Amanda, which one had more views?
I want to say the bad words, but I feel like you're going to tell me it was the good words.
No, it was the bad words.
Oh, really?
I don't know why negative just want to sell bad words, not bad, bad things, but negative things, negative talk. You talk about your mindset.
Right.
And so
but are we saying bad words as in like negative connotation words, or are you talking about like curse words?
No, we're talking about negative words here. We're not talking about curse words.
All right. I was voting for curse words.
See,
I wanted to see the video with Darlene just F-bombing it all over the place.
No, that didn't happen. Probably some people probably would have, and probably because the title was bad words, and just
yes, I'm wondering if people, because I would have totally been like, ooh,
no, that's a bad word. You're telling yourself.
But that's good clickbait though. That's good, Darlene.
Right. So then it was like, okay, what is a title that's going to be catchy for people? So that's been kind of putting that into that. So that was interesting that it was double the amount. One of the things is that, if you check the news, there's so much going out there, and I don't want to get into the controversy items, just
right. Yes. Yeah.
Everyday topics, but negative sales, of course, in the United States, they had the election and it went on forever before anybody was even announced. Right. So I just put a simple comment, just one picture. It wasn't even a video. I just put that Biden had been, and I used the wrong word, I guess, declared. And oh my goodness, I got beat up. He wasn't declared. It was just like, oh my, folks, it was just information. It was, it was no, and just people just.
So have you found that easy or difficult to kind of try to maneuver between so much negativity in the news cycle? There's the 24-hour news cycle, and so people will beat stories to death. So have you found it easy or difficult to kind of try to maneuver your topics so that you're not in that pool?
Very good question. And because I think it's the positive, right, is that has been, and it's hard to get that out there, because remember, every news negative sells more than positive, and I'm promoting the positive out there sometimes. So it has been challenging because, depending on what's happening will depend on whether people have, caught me this week on some of the topics or not, right? Because do we want to find out about this? Some of it has been, update just what's happening with the virus. There's so much, so much in there that you've got to start filling your mind with some positives, right? Because, if not, you would just, we all know, yes, I know, we're all shut in. Yes, we're all. So one of my goals was not to just repeat what was in the news, because right? You can just get that. Yeah, we
Mhm.
we dealt with the virus, the masks, and we had fun with that. Um, uh, I've
So is
had.
it like trying to find the silver lining, I guess, rather than you're not just kind of go on and just complain about being stuck in the house? And I mean, anyone that has met you knows you're an extrovert, you're a very social person and you like being around people. So that's what we were chatting about before we went live, is that I'm not that. I'm the introvert social anxiety girl. So the two of us together make for an interesting dynamic at the meetings. Um, but and I'm finding it difficult socially because like I miss my people, right? So it's not all people. I miss my people. um so but I could only imagine, as you, as someone who's very outgoing, and I'd imagine you draw a lot of energy from being around people, so it would be kind of a double thing where it's like very, like the loneliness and the isolation and the lack of that energy exchange for you, as that's part of your dynamic of who you are as an individual. So um if anyone has a right to kind of go online and just complain about being stuck in their house, it, like, you would be the ideal candidate to kind of like, you'd have probably a laundry list of things that you could. So it's probably been beneficial for you too to do these videos, because it allows you to not, focus on all those things that you're missing out on, or whatever.
You know what? That's a very good point. I could even say maybe they were therapy sessions for me.
Yeah.
What better, right? What better way? You're bored, you can't talking to anybody, just talk to a camera and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, what's really, I guess, surprised me is that the whole motivation was entertaining, but I didn't always have to be entertained. So I have a whole other side with, there's a lot of knowledge in there with,
Mm-hmm.
consulting and things like that. And sometimes when I just, as they say, didn't put a lot of props, sometimes it was a blank wall just because I just wanted you to focus on the words I was saying.
Right.
So,
Right.
so some of it has been strategic in that way, where that has been a whole different ballgame into so many different topics. Some of them are ones that I know that people are going through. I know that this is a challenge. Some of them are challenges that I've gone through myself personally
Mm-hmm.
through
Mm-hmm.
this roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to new ideas. I will continue to do sharing is caring. They have been
And are
no.
these on, I can't remember. I know I've seen them, the links on LinkedIn, but are they on Facebook as well?
Yeah, they're on my personal page, Darlene Smith one. I'm always number one. No, just no, I think probably because there's more Darlene Smiths around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are on my personal page. I tried to move people over to a sharing is caring page, but they didn't want to move, so I just stayed over the personal. I do share them through LinkedIn as well. So
Yeah.
that's another audience over there. And
Yes.
I've been traveling so I've had to reinvent myself locally because people were like,
Mm.
who is she? Because she's the one who jumps on a plane. The next thing we know, she's in Vegas, she's here, she's there.
Yeah.
So this was one way of just kind of breaking the end and adding value out there to be able to do the normal things in life, right? That's not talked about because we're all too in here,
Mm-hmm. So
and
people can find them Facebook or LinkedIn. And
yeah.
same thing, if they have ideas or they want to leave a comment or whatever, they can feel free to do so. You're open to that?
I am
Doesn't mean you'll do it, but you're open.
No, that's really what I'm looking for. And because I've talked to some people and I'm like, hey, get some ideas, and I get the typical ones, I'll do Halloween, the ones
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, what's the topic that you want? And so that's where, and probably one of the funniest one is that I had a special birthday this year and someone gave me some headphones and their challenge was, we want to see the headphones in a video. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So I actually did a whole video about different headphones. Right.
So that you can incorporate them.
So
Look at that.
incorporate, yeah. So it's been really challenging to use creativity. So so this has helped keep me out of trouble, and focus on something, right, to help other people. The cool thing is they're housed there on Facebook, and if you just miss some, or if you want to go back, I have some family members that my aunt in Nova Scotia, Shirley, who's faithful, and she's sharing it with some friends who aren't technically inclined as well. And
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, she stepped up. I'm like, I need a Mickey Mouse, and next thing I knew, in my mailbox was 2 Mickey Mouse. So she had them shipped up from Nova Scotia. So some people take, and I have been challenged by some of the topics. some of his research, and some of them was like, I don't really know a lot. It's not to just give my opinion. It is
Right. Mhm.
it is to share some things, but it's not there. I'm not there just to tell you this. I will inform you of this now. And some of it is people in the United States too, right? In North America.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why United States, we did Thanksgiving. Canada, we did Thanksgiving, focusing on two different topics on that whole thing. And now they can be almost divided into, people are like, well, why aren't you monetizing this? Well, not everything is in there. Here he goes again. No agenda, Darlene. Not everything is about making money, right?
Right.
It's providing it there. If anybody ever wanted to see, as being a speaker, right, the demo video. Now I'm like, well, I really had bits and pieces, and now I have too much. And then I'm thinking, how would I even put one together, right? Just pick a topic, and I can come in and help you people go from there. So I'm just blessed that people have still been enjoying them. Over, from this long, right?
Yeah, and I think too, though, because you're used to speaking at different events and being, out and about, like at least it has allowed you to kind of move some of that energy for yourself and kind of, chit chat and interact in a new way. But at least it's something to kind of get your thoughts out there and kind of get some feedback. And so I think it's a positive thing in that way. So a lot of it is about positive mindset, and like you've said that a few times now, and you focus on that. And like I said, a lot of people who've met you will know you are very positive. You bring a really upbeat energy. A lot of people smiling when you're around. Anyone that's been at the Phenomenal Woman Award that you've hosted the last 2 years, this year virtually and last year in person, will know the kind of energy and personality I'm talking about. So what why is mindset important to you? Like, what kind of brought that about, I guess?
Well, one of the things that I guess I always looked at, and that's where I kind of come with the things, everything starts and ends with the mindset. And, being a business person and also a lot in self-development. And for years, having the opportunity to work with a group based out of San Diego, working with entrepreneurs. And sometimes we get on about flipping houses and some of the coaching calls. And one thing I realized is that I can teach you how to do this, but first thing we got to do is we've got to work on your mindset, because you can just talk yourself out of it.
Right.
I'll never forget the first time that I'm sitting in Moncton in a snowstorm, and I'm talking to somebody in Hawaii, and I'm thinking, what can I teach them about real estate in Hawaii? This lady had no self-confidence. Her mindset was, I can't do this. And so we spent the whole time over some coaching is just working on the whole mindset. And I found what was happening is that with a lot of the coaching, and that's was my niche, is people just need to be inspired, and they needed to help build that you can do this. And it really starts with this, because this can take you out of the game. Some people say, oh, this happened to me. And yeah, negative things happen. You address it. You just don't dwell on it forever.
Right.
And some people, I call them the drama people. The drama people don't watch my videos because it's just too darn positive for them. Because they're not going to be feeding that particular area.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's kind of become their identity, and what you're saying doesn't align with the way they're kind of doing their thing. So they're not going to find anything to reinforce what they've decided is their drama story. And so you're not going to help them, build that wall. So they're just going to ignore you.
They're just going to ignore me, or they're just like, that's just foolishness, or I don't want to deal with that. Right. And in any of the training that I've ever done, there's always a section in that starts out with mindset. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whatever business.
Right.
And that's really where it goes. And this can take you in the game. It can take you out of the game. It can, really, it can hurt you. Like, we talk about, with the COVID, people being alone, mental, it's hard to keep that, going up there, right? With you, when you have so much, right? 99% is negative. Don't watch the news all day. Just get yourself informed, go from that. And this is really where we gotta do it. And, there's, I remember, some of them like playing victim, right? And it was, it was not people that probably my audience playing victim, but you know people out there, and how do you
Yes.
how do you deal with them?
Yeah.
Right. And it came back to dealing with the mindset.
So essentially, you kind of saw this pattern kind of reemerging as you worked with entrepreneurs or real estate individuals. And is that kind of how it kind of piqued your interest to say, well, I'm spending this much time having to reprogram
Yes.
some of these people. So why not kind of head down that road? Is that kind of how it happened?
That's really where it got. And the more I began to learn myself, and the more I realized, really, it was like, oh, that made sense. That's why they're thinking like that. That's why these people attract. That's why, you know, you did the drama in that. And I never forgot way back, not way back, but when I was the general manager, opened the chapter store here in Moncton. And I said to the assistant, I said, I want you to watch who has lunch together. And he's like, why? I said, no reason. I just want you to watch. So after a week, I come back and I said, so what did you find out? Well, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so breaks, lunches, always hang about. They're always hanging together. Right. So who are the challenging employees? Same people hanging out because they're feeding each other.
Yeah.
Right. And I never forgot. He said, how did you get so smart? I thought, I don't know.
You're like, I can't share all my secrets.
I can't share our secrets. Right. And so it's always been there, and it's learning to apply it, because what I realized that I'm in the people business, whether it's been in real estate, whether it's been in the retail industry, whether you're MC at an event, where you're just doing it's still in the people business. And people are just interesting characters.
Yes, that's to say the least.
And there's negative people out there that we just, you know, the situations where they just drain your energy, and they're no-win situations, right? We're all in those.
Oh yes, yeah.
All in those scenarios. It doesn't matter what you say, do. You're always going to be wrong. You can't win, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or same thing. It's like people who come to you with the problem, and then you provide them with 96 solutions, and they find an argument as to why none of those will work. It's because they're not actually there for a solution. They're there to kind of they wanted you to kind of agree with them about their woe is me. And if you're not that person, you know, you'll probably notice if you don't feed into that, there'll be less and less interaction, because again, you're not giving them what they need. And also they're not giving you what you need, because you're just getting irritated with somebody who says they have an issue but isn't doing anything to fix it. So, you know, I think people, if they reflect on that, they will notice, like, you know what I mean? There's some of those patterns. People know. And same thing, sometimes you have no choice because they're family members and you're just gonna, but you kind of can pick and pivot during those conversations to kind of stay away from, you know, when they give you that that easy target to not take it. So given all the challenges and the constant conversation in COVID around mindset and mental health and positivity, is there anything that stands out to you, or do you have any recommendations for people who may be feeling more challenged in the mindset area than they, you know, maybe do, you know, pre-COVID? I hate using that term, but I can't think of another one right now. So outside of a pandemic, you know, that maybe they don't have some issues with their mindset, but now they're really kind of feeling the grind. So is there any advice you would have for those individuals?
That's a good question, and it's a good point, because I thought in the beginning was the worst. The worst is actually now, right? The longer it's been going. And so this is where you need to find those key people that are your fans, your supporters, somebody that you, whether it's accountability, that you can tap into on a regular basis. And maybe it's a case where, all right, I need 5 minutes just to get this all off my chest. Okay, I'm done. Right? Because keeping it up inside is not good. So that's the first thing. You need that wall, that support person, people who you can just, okay, well, give me 5 minutes, let me get it all off of here. Okay, now I can breathe. All right, let's pick up and move on and go. And you need those supporters to help, with the positive, to build you up. It's just connecting with the phones. It's just, those doing those unexpected thank yous. It's just reaching out to somebody. A lot of things will say, hey, just getting a text message and wishing somebody a happy, have a good day for no reason, right? You need to surround yourself with those type. It's what you feed your mind. Right. And so there's a lot of good quotes out there, which is what you need, right? If you're not doing that, reading, right, which is a thing, that's a great habit. If you're not, then videos. And that's where the videos kind of takes in from between the quotes and somebody reading, you can just listen and watch. Right. So if you don't have that support, you need it now more than ever, right? And usually it's not just family people, it's somebody else, because we don't have those groups. A lot of times people are just doing, virtual wine drink.
Yes, get together with your friends and
right. You need that more than ever. And being aware that, and understanding that it's okay that you're not at your top of your game today.
Yeah.
But you can't stay there. You can't stay there. What's going to motivate you? You need something positive to think. And some of them is going back down the memories. Hey, this is a great vacation that we had. You need to think of some of those positive items as well.
Yeah, and give yourself a break as well. Like it's a tough time for everybody. Like this is a crazy time. So even people that are peak performers are not, their output is not the same. It's different. So they're going to have some days where they feel good and other days where they try to do what they would normally do and they get to 9:02 in the morning and that's all she wrote. So
you're correct. And the hardest thing for us people that, are so hard on ourselves is not to beat yourself up. And I think that the whole thing that people realize is that you are not alone feeling like this.
Yeah.
That is the whole thing. You are not alone feeling like this. And that was something that I'm great at giving everybody else help, but I'm a terrible person of asking for help. Right? And this is, because we're just used to looking after ourselves, but this is where a time where you need to reach out. It's okay. It's okay. People are not going to think less of you. It's not. It's just
the only one stressed out about it is you.
Precisely. The stress
people want to help. They care about you.
That's the thing, right? Is letting them in to be able to do that. So, that's really, it's whether you got to stay connected somehow. Yeah. And so that's where, the daily mind habits kind of let in, because it's a way that as you go throughout your day that I teach in that program is what are the things that need to keep you on track when you're going negative? How do you get back to positive? Right? What are those things you do? And you need all of those go to, and it can be different things each day. Sometimes it's me, I just go down at the other end of the house and walk in the Mickey room. And it's like, okay, let's, right? You don't have to be that crazy. Go to that extremes. But that's
so in terms of some of the things you're doing. So I know you said one of the most viewed videos was the, when you have a bad day. So, what are you doing, or have you found yourself having to rely more on certain habits or systems or mindsets, given the circumstances with the pandemic? And what are, can you give us a little tidbit on what those are?
Yeah, it's really, that is so true. So I've had to learn to text more. I have a couple of key people that I call them my Texan buddies, right? And it's just like, okay, I can't believe this happened. I'm just feeling down. Is it okay? And it's a case of, because sometimes people are not in situations where they can always talk, but they can text, right?
Yes. Yep.
And so that has been very helpful for me to reach out. It's, of course, attending as many events as possible virtually, right? Immersing yourself in, but what are those bridges? Right. So that's where I'm like, okay, I just need a few minutes to vent. Right. I'm also part of a, accountability group, and, I get a couple accountability partners, and some days it's just like, guys, I just need to get this all off my chest. Right. And we all need that, and it's okay. And if you don't have those people in your life to be able to do that, then what's happening? Whether it's just writing it down and journaling, it's being strategic with, people working at home. You need more breaks, folks. You need more.
Yeah, that's what I was just actually going to say too, is like, you don't realize the benefit of, if you're someone that works in an office, the benefit of when you're frustrated, being able to get up and go to the next person's office and just, vent for 5 minutes and get it, like you said, get it out of your system. Now with the virtual environment, you never know, is someone available, are they not available, are they in a meeting, like, you know what I mean, are they on the phone? And it's different to like call someone up and complain about it versus if you were physically there, you could kind of peek in their office and see if you can kind of take up some of their time, versus you don't know if you're picking up the phone or calling them on a virtual meeting, are you interrupting something they're in the middle of? So I think that, but then you end up, stewing in it for the whole day. So it's like a new dynamic where people are away from everyone, they're isolated, they're working remotely, and now their usual frustration outlets, or even just, people having a laugh, people bringing in baked goods, people sharing a cute story about their family, like those kind of bonding experiences. You don't get that anymore. You don't get those benefits and outlets. And now you're kind of in this weird world. So like you said, if you have those people that you can just vent to, or even just, send funny memes to, whatever it is, like just to have that connection is kind of like, is a big deal for sure.
Even more so now. And, sometimes it's those people that you didn't even think of that would be your greatest supporters. Right. And it's just don't be afraid to reach out. So you need a combination of all those, right? To get through this period of time. So it's not just one thing for me. I'm like, you can have 15 minutes to complain about it. Okay, done. Let's move on. Right.
Yep.
And so you need those calls, you need those texts, you need to just go online and watch a funny clip. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to rewatch my video just to see, did I really say that? That was just like, are you just totally got it? And sometimes I have to do that too, right? Just to kind of put myself in like, oh.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. I think those things are definitely important for sure. So you spoke a bit about some programs that you offer. So can you tell us a bit about that? Like, what are the programs that you offer? And I believe they can be accessed through your website, right? Which is darlenesmith.ca.
Right. Yeah. And if you do the .com, you'll end up at the same place.
You got the redirect.
Redirect, learning all this.
Good job.
All this tech stuff is what, really what, it's really giving back, helping out to the community. One of them, it's called a daily mind menu. It's more or less daily actions for positive mindset. And I put it 2020 and it's like, folks, it's only $20. It's one $20 bill. That's it. Right. But it's really developing a menu that you can order off to keep your mind positive. How do you start the day? Right. So there's many different options. What happens with, exercise? Well, if you're not somebody, if you can just walk around the block, you've done it. Maybe you want to walk run 5 miles, it doesn't matter. What happens during the day? You need a snack. Well, that's where I'm just feeling down.
Right.
What can you do? And how you end your day as well, gratitude and, the positive mindsets that, and, what are some of the things you're thankful for? So one of the things in the program is you get to develop your own daily personal menu, how you start the day, your main courses, the main items, if it's only 2 or 3 minutes, you're doing something positive, how you end the day. And there's probably items on there that, that I didn't even think of. And so you can do it on your own as a home study. I have run some live groups with people, which that's the most fun because you really get to support everybody. It's accountability, folks. Everybody needs accountability these days. You need accountability people in your lives. And sometimes it's not the people in your household.
Right.
Right. Because there's 2 different roads that they could be going on. So that's, one of the great things. Coming up in 2021, we got some new goals. One of the things I'll be looking to hopefully put together will be, a group coaching with some business people, just getting things done to stay focused, moving forward, right? So there's a lot that can be done as that. And I've got some others in the background that working on getting out there. And I love shit. You know what? Someone told me one thing: you're doing a disservice to everybody if you do not share your information and your talents. And so anywhere, if anybody remembered me, it's like, yeah, the energetic Darlene, and she just, goes. And you're right. That's my fuel. What fuels you? What motivates you? What inspires you? What gets you going? It doesn't have to be Mickey.
That's just your thing.
That's just my thing.
Where did that start? Anyways, is that a long story?
No, it's a short story. I don't know. I think missed something in my childhood. And I think, it's the happiest place on earth. And then what happened is that people just didn't know what to buy me. And I just
it became a thing.
So it became a thing.
Because in normal times you would go once a year to
Disney? At least this is the first time in 20 some years that Mickey is missing me. I got a wine glass for Christmas that said, I'm whining because I'm not with Disney. I'm not with Mickey. I think that's where it goes back, putting the smiles on the faces, and that's where it all started. And one of the cool things is that there's some key items in the Mickey collection that have, special meanings behind them, and those are really cool. There's items, and then there's ones that have
sentimental value.
A lot of sentimental value. This last year, there's been some key items added that has a lot of sentimental value. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
So also, as I mentioned at the beginning, you are a BPW Greater Moncton member and have been for quite some time. So I just wanted to get your 2 cents on that. So why are you a member? What do you enjoy about the group? Why do you think other people should consider joining? That kind of stuff.
Well, that's a good question. One of the things is I love to give back. And, a lot of people out there, particularly women, sometimes, you're not giving yourself enough credit. And that's where, being at the group and seeing what other people are doing, you can get the motivation, you can share. There's the networking. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know that. There's a lot of similarities that people can have. It's great speakers that, topics that's being related. You're doing some, BBW is doing some great things in the community as far as, even on the national stage. I've met some great people, had some great friends that, that I've actually met through BBW. Some people come and go. It's a place where you just get to share a lot, right? Just what you do, what you don't. The quality of people, like-minded people, get to, be attracted. I think sometimes, women in the community do not support each other enough. And this is a platform where you're able to certainly do that, even to a bigger scale. Yes, you've had some great men as well as some great topics off the road. So, just staying and connected in that way. So I enjoy it. So, it's a chance to share my energy, share my good luck with people who sit at my tables, which is.
I was just going to say that, actually. I was going to say, for anyone that didn't know, Darlene is extremely lucky. It's actually to the point of ridiculousness. Like, I think probably at least 75% win ratio, probably. So it kind of becomes a running joke because we at our networking events will sell tickets on door prizes, and if Darlene doesn't win it, then someone sitting at her table does, because as a byproduct of her having chatted with them, they will win. So when and even virtually, I guess they could come on and they could chit chat with you at our virtual meetings, because then you're going to have to work on perfecting your luck rubbing off on people through the internet. But once we're back in person as well, like, they can come and network with you, and they can get some pretty good swag out of the deal. And all that money we raise with those door prizes is actually donated back in the community. We have different charities that we give that money back to. So not only do you usually win something fun, but the money actually goes back into the community. So that's always a plus. And even to the point with Darlene's luckiness. So I was at Long Island Medium when she was here at the Coliseum a couple of years ago, and there's like thousands of people in the the Coliseum, and they did a draw because you got to meet her. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Your
you get to
picture
go
with her?
back. Yeah, the pitcher and meter backstage after.
Yes, and so they did a draw in the thing. Like, I think you had to text something, and that was your entry or whatever. So you had to text as your entry, and then the winner got to go meet Teresa and get picture and signature and all the fun stuff. And sure as hell, I'm sitting there, and they come up, and they're like, "The winner is Darlene Smith," and I heard you go, "Woo!" And in the Coliseum, I could hear you, and I just burst out laughing because I was like, "Of course it was Darlene. Like, there's no way anyone else in here, like, no one else should have bothered texting because it was definitely gonna." So I got a kick out of that because it actually has become a running joke. We've been at several events, not just BPW, but chamber events, different community events, and Darlene tends to win. It's pretty funny. You kind of get in on it. It's a pretty good time. That's for sure. Do you have any parting thoughts before I get you to tell all the fine people where they can find out more about you?
Well, this has been a lot of fun, I must say. Just to have a conversation is kind of different for me because I'm so used to being that.
Mhm.
I used to tell people that no one would sit at the table at the PBW month meeting, so that's why I decided to do the draw thing.
Oh, you
That's
started
really
sharing your luck so that people would
sit at the
hang out with
table,
each other.
right?
Okay.
Using everything.
Look at you.
Look at that. So it's really not about
It's
and just
altruistic is what you're saying.
it is, and it's just kind of like, you know what, you just got to win. Yeah, and I think I won something over the weekend too in another draw, but that's another.
Oh my. That's
That's
fine though, because you put all that energy back out there. So I'm all, if anyone's gonna win, I think it should be you, Darlene.
Well, you know what? The way I kind of look at it is that I do things just to give to others. If anything, I probably, give too much. Some people said, you got to look after yourself to have that energy. And
Mm.
by somehow, things just get looked after behind the scenes because of all the time. I always said that, if I was paid for all my volunteer work, I wouldn't need a job, right? I didn't need a career going through that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a great organization, BPW. If you're not involved, you should be involved because there's so many great things, using each other's businesses, just having those connections out there, supporting each other, the confidence, the learning, the speakers, it's all for the positive energy. You get to drink wine, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's you. Yep. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Now at home you can.
Now at home you can drink
When you do it in person, there's always a bar cash bar.
if you want to. That's right. Or you can just have
Or
water.
you can have water. We have tea and coffee. There's no pressure.
No, not at all. So thank you for the opportunity to kind of have a conversation and for people to kind of maybe see the other side of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which they don't necessarily get to see. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity for sharing this, caring. Hey, keep your comments, keep your likes, and share it. I have 4 or 5 groups where I share the videos. I was teasing people at first. I would have loved to got sharing is caring on Ellen. That's on my bucket list.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
Right. So I actually had somebody submit a couple of videos to Ellen, but that was way back. That was like in March, before everything. But I'm still here, Ellen. You can reach me.
She's definitely watching right now on live.
Definitely watching us. Like,
she's a big fan.
She's a big fan. If that's what it's a case where, entertaining, smiles, if I can just put that on you, make you think of something, what, it's a good reminder. Some people would just get down during the day, just click one of those funny videos, and then I've completed what I could in 4 minutes.
Yeah, pivot the mindset.
Pivot the mindset is such. That's right. So, I enjoy helping companies, businesses out there, doing consultant work as well. There's much more knowledge that this is just the surface, love systems and moving forward with that. And if any way I can be of help, by all means, don't be afraid to reach out. I respond to everything,
So they can find you on darlenesmith.ca. You're on LinkedIn as well, Facebook.
Right. Yes.
Do you prefer any one of those platforms? Is there a preference, easiest one to get a hold of you on?
No, either one. LinkedIn, I'm Darlene Smith something, I forget that. because you got another number. I know I'm number one on Facebook. I do have an Instagram, but Instagram doesn't do much on videos, so I'm not as good there. I do have a Twitter feed, but I'm kind of, it's been Facebook and LinkedIn has been kind of the key items.
Okay.
That's where I've been hanging out the most. I never got into TikTok. I was like, okay, whatever. You can't be good at everything.
You don't have to talk to Natalie Davidson. She'll give you the whole.
Yeah, I just watch Natalie. I'm like, okay, you can go from.
I'm gonna have to get her to give me some lessons because I don't know. I just watch the videos. I don't make any.
Yeah. So you can reach out there. Also too at info@darlenesmith.ca, right? So you can certainly reach out to me. And if you can't, then certainly through Business Professional Women, they know how to.
Oh yeah, for sure. If anybody drops us a line, leave a comment, send a message, we can definitely make sure it gets Darlene's way. Definitely consider Darlene. She, again, like I said, she was our MC, both live and on Zoom. So she has done both. And in fact, even with the live, we threw her a curveball that year, and we're like, oh, PS, it's going to be live on Rogers. So literally like 3 seconds before the event started, we're like, oh, this is live, so you can't, there's no breaks. So Darlene had to come up with some fancy footwork there because she had some time to fill because there couldn't be silence. So
yeah, you guys have certainly put me through some challenges.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess that's where, thinking on your feet, it is a skill within being in the moment. Not everybody can do that. That's one of my strong points of stuff. You've tested it. I mean, this year, sending me out in the dark in the neighborhoods to give.
Yes, we sent her out this year to go up to Angelique Reddy Kalala's house because she was our winner for Phenomenal Woman Award. And Darlene creeped up on her house and knocked on the door with the trophy. So it's been fun though. So you're definitely always open to some interesting, fun ideas. You keep the energy good for events. So people should keep you in mind for that. They should check out your website if they're interested in any of your training programs. And if they just want to interact with you, they should reach out, or they can come along and test out a BPW meeting and chat with you there. Because we always do a bit of a chit chat before the meetings start. And Darlene always is interested in knowing what people have on the go. So thank you, Darlene. I greatly appreciate your time. It's always fun to chat with you. I haven't gotten to chat with you for a while now, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. So this is an awesome thing for us to get to do. And normally we only get a few minutes at networking because, everything's on the go. But this time we got, a lot of time, just the two of us.
You know what? It was a lot of fun. I was a little worried because I was like, "What you gonna ask about? Okay, where are we going? Where are we going with this?" But it was very fun to have the comment, and it's about having fun, folks. We need to have more fun in life. We need to have more laughs in life.
Yes, absolutely. Take everything a little less seriously. Learn to be flexible. Pivot. That's kind of the key things from this 2020, anyways. Is that you can make all the plans you want, and something crazy can come along. So just kind of roll with it.
Just go with it.
Roll with it.
Yep. If not, you go on another road.
Exactly. Awesome, Darlene. Thanks again. Much appreciated. I hope everyone found this insightful. Feel free to leave comments or questions below. We'll make sure Darlene gets them and she'll answer them in the future. So thanks, Darlene. It was great to see you. I'm sure we'll have you back again. And thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.